The purpose of this video is to provide a guidance on investigation, determination, and documentation of any OOS, that is out of specification, that was obtained during testing of a result. Now, what is OOS? Now, when an analyst performs analysis of a sample and the result that is obtained in testing of the sample, it fails to meet the expected result or the specification that was provided, then it is termed as out of specification. Now, when the sample fails, you just can't report it and release the report, because you have to be confirmed that the sample has failed and the result that you have provided is correct. There should be a proper investigation whenever an OOS test result is identified. The investigation, its conclusion, and the follow-up action, it should be documented so that whenever there is a query about the sample, you have a well-documented result and you can defend yourself. So, and the investigation, it should be thorough, timely, and unbiased, and it should be scientifically defensible. The OOS, it should be investigated at the earliest, and it should be submitted to the quality assurance team within a week once the OOS is identified. Now, when an OOS is observed, the first thing that an analyst should do is he or she should preserve the sample dilution and standards that was injected during the sample analysis and whatever gave the result on the chromatograph. The next thing the analyst will do, analyst and HOD, the head of the department, whoever assigns the task and checks if the analyst is performing the sample analysis correctly, the person should check the logbook for the entries of the sample, like whatever instruments were used. If the vortex machine was used, centrifugation machine was used, evaporator were used, the HOD should check that the sample entries are obtained over there. And the HOD should also have a thorough look on the calculation, and if still there is no error found in the calculations or there are logbook entries everywhere, there is no deviation in the method, then what the HOD will do is the HOD will contact quality assurance team and take an investigation number. Now the HOD will start the investigation and prepare the investigation form. And also the OOS investigation shall be logged in the OOS logbook and the investigation number will be given to it. Now what will the HOD do is, he or she will discuss the test method with the analyst to check the analyst has performed it correctly, to check the correct analytical method was used during the analysis. Was the analytical method adequate and followed properly? And also the HOD, if there is no evidence that the sample was stored properly or the dilutions made by the analyst was not correct, what is the role of the HOD here is to investigate if the analyst went wrong somewhere. Not only the analyst, but was the instrument that was used during the analysis was calibrated? Was the instrument giving correct result. So this also should be investigated by the HOD. So the role of the HOD here during the investigation should be that the analyst should be investigated. Second, the method was advocate for extraction of the analyte was advocate or not should be checked, and there was no deviation in the method should be checked, and also the chemicals or standards, reference standards that was used to calculate the result should be checked, because that is the main thing, because you're calculating the result on basis of your certified reference materials. So the standards that were, the dilution that was prepared was correct, that also should be investigated. And fourth, the instrument should be verified, that the analyst that was using that instrument was in proper condition and the calibration of the instrument was also proper. Even after investigating the analyst, standards, reagents, or the instrument, the HOD finds nothing over there, then the sampling, handling, its storage, and the transportation should be investigated. That the sample was stored properly. If it was a refrigerated storage sample, then was it kept in refrigeration condition, or if it was in a room temperature storage condition, so was it packed properly, was there in any leakage? So all these parameters should be checked that can contribute to the result, the final result. So these all things should be checked and verified. And during this investigation, if the laboratory finds any error, then the OOS result shall be invalidated, and the retest of the sample should be performed, and whatever retest result is obtained, that shall be submitted and reported. If the laboratory fails to find any error, that whatever the HOD investigated, there was no error found during this investigation, then whatever result that was obtained shall be reported to the client, and if the client requests uh, the lab for a retest, then a phase 2 investigation shall be conducted. Now this phase 2 investigation should be started by performing the analysis, that is retest of the existing sample if it is available. The sample used for retesting, it should be taken from the same homogeneous material, batch or lot that was originally tested. And also the sample that has to be retested, it should be performed in duplicate. The same analyst can do it or another analyst can do it, but it should be performed in duplicate. Now if the retested result is matching with the original result, then there is no problem. The results are reproducible and you have to report whatever result you obtained again, and you have to submit it to the client. The problem arises when the retest is not matching with your original test result. Then it is an NRR, that is non-reproducible retest. So in this case, what are you going to do is the retest result will be submitted to the client, because the retest result has been performed in duplicate, and the average of these duplicate has to be submitted. And the it doesn't end here, because you have produced an NRR report, that is non-reproducible report, So further investigation should be carried out that why the original test report is different, where the analyst or the instrument, where it went wrong, that the original result is not matching with the retest result. And all the raw data, the chromatograms that was generated in the original test result and the retest result in duplicate, these all raw data should be uh, documented properly for whenever a client query comes, you are ready for it. And this doesn't end here because the NRR is generated. If an NRR is generated, so what the HOD needs to do or what the lab needs to do, I'll be sharing it with you in the next video.